Department in Cincinnati State, and the longtime owner, co-owner actually, of Providence.com. And yes, we are coming back, we promise. But I welcome you tonight to a discussion on women in beer. We're going to start off, we've got several questions, but we're also going to open up for questions. And I'm going to start off by, you just heard who I am, I'm going to ask my fellow panel to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I am a tour guide with the Cincy Brew Bus, and I'm also a bartender at Fibonacci up in Mount Healthy.
Hi, my name is Natalie Blair. I am a brewer at Rhinegeist, and yeah, that's about it.
Hi, I'm Jane Walton. I'm the beer buyer and front of house manager at Marty's Hops and Vines just up the street.
When we were putting this panel together, we were talking about the fact, it's like, well, you mean you're a brewer? I'm like, well, the brewing industry covers much more than brewers. And in fact, the Beer Institute, among one things they said, there's over 2 million people in the U.S. working in the brewing industry now. And for every one brewer or any person working in the a brewery, there's like 55 other people doing jobs related to beer. And so that's what we've got a nice selection here of people working in all facets of the brewing industry. So I'm going to start with a good one of my favorite ones, which I actually need to give credit to my husband Tom, who's helping Tom. I know that's confusing. But what was the beer that got you into better beer?
I can start. When my husband met me long ago, I was drinking strictly Miller Lite, and he quickly turned me on to and Still Light because it actually had flavor. And then I think it went to Bass, and then finally Sierra Nevada Pale Ale was the first real craft beer that got my attention.
So, I guess my parents are a little rebelly. They let us try a whole bunch of super fun barley pops when we were wee. And I guess the first American craft beer that got me into drinking the plethora that there are was 21st Amendment Back in Black, because God loves a black IPA. So
I guess I started out with Fat Tire, but that was pretty safe. I mean, it was an amber, but it made me feel comfortable enough to go and check out their portfolio. So 1554, that black ale, is what really got it for me and opened up the door to be like, ooh, dark beer's not scary.
And for me, I lived in the Netherlands for 6 months in 1984. Yes, do the math, that's when I graduated from high school. Not high school, college. And so you really learn the difference there. In fact, I always say the first 2 phrases I learned in Dutch were "Ein pils" and "Wat is het toilet?" Those are important phrases to know. But yeah, coming back from the Netherlands and actually having drank good beer, I also discovered that when I was working at the Illinois State Fair, that beer was cheaper than like iced tea at the Illinois State Fair. So I'll drink beer, thank you very much. And we just kind of went from there. All right, the next question we have is, what first interested you in the possibility of working in the brewing industry?
That was actually you.
Yeah.
I had a friend who really got me into craft beer, and that's how I ended up meeting Carla and exploring all sorts of fun beers. And then, thanks to being Facebook friends with Carla, she actually shared my Stoke status that they were looking for tour guides with the Brew Bus, and I was like, well, I like beer and I like history, so let's do this.
And I called Mike and said, hire her.
I was working as a server at Marty's, and I learned a lot more about craft beer from the then beer buyer Andrew Frantovic, who I'm sure many of you here know. And it just opened up a whole new world to me. I didn't know there were that many styles that weren't just soft?
I guess I started out with Fat Tire. That was pretty safe. I mean, it was an amber, but it made me feel comfortable enough to go and check out their portfolio. So 1554, that black ale, is what really got it for me and opened up the door to be like, dark beer's not scary.
And for me, I lived in the Netherlands for 6 months.
Really wasn't my
From high school, not high school, college. And so you really learn the difference there. In fact, I always say the first two phrases I learned in Dutch were "I'm pils" and "Wat is het toilet."
Build things and
Those are important phrases to know. But yeah, coming back from the Netherlands and actually having drank good beer, I also discovered that when I was working at the Illinois State Fair, that beer was cheaper than like iced tea at the Illinois State Fair. So I'll drink beer, thank you very much. And we just kind of went from there. All right, then how did you get it and how did you hear about it? The next question we have is, what first interest we've been doing operatives for 9 years. And the possibility of working in the brewing industry.
That was actually you. Yeah, I had a friend who really got me into craft beer, and that's how I ended up meeting Carla and exploring all sorts of fun beers. And then, thanks to being Facebook friends with Carla, she actually shared my Stoke status that they were looking for tour guides with the brew bus, and I was like, well, I like beer and I like history, so let's do this.
And I called Mike and said, hire her. Little different now. And that's when about 6 years ago I started bugging Cincinnati State, where I was teaching, saying, okay, you always say, 2-year schools, community colleges are supposed to be nimble, they're supposed to react to what the job needs are going to be. We need to be jumping on this now. And it took 3 more years before I finally got a sabbatical to go research more. And then finally we started offering our first classes.
And check out their portfolio. So 1554, that black ale, is what really got it for me. And
I'm going to point out Shell.
Opened up the door to be like, dark beer's not scary.
And for me, I lived in the Netherlands for 6 months.
Really wasn't
44 students this past fall. We've got about a dozen from high school, and a lot of high school, college. Around the city. And so you really those things is like, look at what your strength is. Learn the difference there. In fact, I always say the first two phrases I learned in Dutch were "I'm pils" and Mike Stewart at Wat is het toilet. Background in HR, and he used it.
build things and
MadTree. So those are important phrases to know. The next one. What is the but yeah, coming back from the Netherlands and actually having drank
For me, I would say one of the highlights, because it's hard to
good beer. I also discovered that when I
6th-year anniversary party for Marty's Hops and Wines, I wanted to do
was working at the Illinois State Fair, that beer was cheaper than like iced tea at the Illinois State.
Marty. I know Bob is here somewhere. Yes. Bob sat down with Marty and me, and he gave us this big old chart of hops, and which ones did what for bittering and flavor and aroma and whatnot, and then asked us to pick out hops. And we collaborated to make a 6-hop beer, an IPA, for the anniversary party, and it turned out to be a really fantastic regular thing, I think, at Fibonacci. For that same event, we also got pale ale bottles from Propel with Marty's face on the label, so you had it on the beer. And there's still an empty sitting in the shop if you ever want to see it. And just being able to pull that off when I was still kind of new in my job was really, really exciting. And the fact that the beer turned out good because I picked a couple hops. So.
for me, yes, there are two. Hands down, getting promoted to brewer really last January. It was freaking amazing. Totally totally wept like a big baby.
Supposed to be nimble, we're supposed to react to what the job needs are going to be. We need to be jumping on this now. And it took
Her name is Scully.
3 more years before
People will need
a sabbatical to go.
At least there's some people that love it, so that's good.
There's been quite a few highlights, but I do love when I'm out and about in the community and at different breweries when people start screaming my name or, "Hey, beer lady," because they remember they took a tour with me and they had a blast, and it makes me feel good that they're still out.
This past fall, we got about a dozen. And a lot.
I get a lot of guests from I get a lot of guests from outside of the country.
Around the city. And so, here's the things, it's like, look at what your strength is, the differences. I always say the first 2 phrases I learned in Denmark were Mike Stewart at HR, and he used it. And MadTree, so.
My name is Ellen Lane.
Those are important phrases to know. Next one, what is the So what was the beer that got you?
For me to say, probably, I would say one of the towns Roebling. Because it's harder to craft beer. That was actually
I also discovered that when I
6th year in home brewer, so definitely anniversary party for Marty Scott's and Minds. I wanted
first interest you in the possibility of working in the brewing.
to do
was working at the state fair, that beer was cheaper
And has been doing a lot of help building 2.0.
than iced tea.
So I've always been kind of tied into it, and then when I had the opportunity to jump in and help,
I know Bob is here somewhere.
Industry, how did you find out about it? How did you get it?
So
Bob sat down with Marty and he gave us this big
my husband, we're good friends.
little chart of hops.
And they mentioned that they were trying to grow the lab and needed some extra help. And they're like, why don't you come in and interview? The rest is history, so yeah.
And this gets you caught up. What has been the highlight of your career so far in the industry?
I would say the highlight was actually opening up 2.0.
Beer, an IPA for the anniversary party, and it turned out to be a really fantastic regular.
And being a part of the drawings and designing the and really a closet. So kind of helping design the flow and the structure of our lab over at 2.0 is really exciting to see.
And obviously for me, the highlight was when we finally got the degree approved by the state. I do not believe the amount of paperwork I had to fill out to do that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm so proud of everybody that has, done the program so far. We have students at Rhinegeist, at 50 West, at Fibonacci, we at March 1st. I'm missing some in there. Bad Tom. And we don't even have a graduate of the brewing degree yet. So that makes me very, very happy. All right, our next question. What are some of the best and worst aspects of being a woman in the brewing industry? I know, it's a hard one. I'll take one of the first best parts. The lines at the women's room at beer festivals are very short.
Gender, and they think that, oh, you don't know anything about beer, or you can't know anything about beer. I've chased this whale here and there, and, I've done quite a few highlights, but I do love when I'm out and about in the community and at different breweries when people start screaming to Fibonacci, and I'm going to listen to my name, or, "Hey, beer lady!" It's like, no, dude, because they remember they took a tour. I've been trained, I love with me, and they have a blast, and it makes me feel, and it's for everybody, so it does suck when people good that they're still out.
Last fall, we got
A lot of guests, camaraderie between all the women. Pink Boots is going to get a lot of guys doing that, and yeah, from outside of the country. The support you get, again, the camaraderie. So yeah, to see a bunch of other women also doing this, and somewhere where you also have a sounding board and you can also vent too is pretty awesome.
Mike Stewart and
Or
HR and
my name is Ellen.
next one. What's the beer that got
Say, probably, I would
not feel like you have to constantly be showing your credentials or answering questions just to get served the right beer or something.
Birthday party for my sauce and wines I want. Birthday party for my sauce and wines I want. So I've always been having the opportunity to jump in and help. Actually, I did a ball. Stairs, snowy water, stairs, snowy water.
How did you find out about the street? How did you find out about it? How did you get it?
I mean, it's not possible.
So,
And work around and definitely the best thing in the industry.
my husband and we're good friends.
We have something.
And they mentioned that they were trying to grow the lab and needed some extra help. And I'm sure we went in an interview and the rest is history. So, yeah.
And this gets started. What has been the highlight of your career so far in the industry?
I would say the highlight was actually opening up 2.5 years IPA for the anniversary party, and it turned out to be a really fantastic regular and being a part of the drawings and designing the and really a closet. So kind of helping design the flow and the structure of our lab over 2.0 is really exciting.
And obviously for me, the highlight was when we finally got the degree approved by the state. You cannot believe the paperwork I had to fill out to do that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm so proud of everybody that has, done the program so far. We have students at Rhinegeist, at 50 West, at, Fibonacci, at March 1st, I'm missing some in there, and we don't even have a graduate of the brewing degree yet. So that makes me very, very happy. All right, our next question. What are some of the best and worst aspects of being a woman in the brewing industry? Aspects. It's a hard. I'll take one. I know. It's a hard one. I'll first best parts. The lines of women's room every day.
Oh, you don't know anything about beer.
Number of post talks made.
And
So
I've this way over there, and
we're getting there, but it's slowly but surely.
I've done.
Not.
Different breweries.
I'm looking forward to this one. What behavior from anyone makes you roll your eyes the hardest? Oh, Natalie has the mic.
What beer do the guys at your brewery drink?
Oh!
murder, kill, murder. I get a little punchy. I mean, that's pervasive. That I get that question from women and men.
Anybody else?
I'll be standing in the beer area, actually going through invoices and stocking the beer, and a customer will come in and he will talk to Jeff or the male rep from a distributor who's standing there with me as I'm placing the orders, and they'll ignore me when I'm the one who actually has the answers for them. And yeah, Jeff has it. He's a brewer. He's got the beer. He's got the look. But he kept turning to me to ask the question and get the answer, and the customer continued to interact with Jeff and not even look at me. I'm right here. I have your answers. Drives me crazy. I'm sorry I don't have a beard. I'm never going to grow one. The answers are not stored in that beer. Or elsewhere. Drives me crazy. Yeah. And I'm just going to add, Jenny, you might encounter this. I don't know if you guys do where you are, but working in service, the testing. Why does someone need to put their hand on me to hear about beer? I don't understand that. I don't mind touches from people I know. I get hugs. I like hugs, but when strangers have to pat me or put their hand on my back or whatever, it's not going to make me hear any better. It's not going to make my answer any more accurate. Stop touching me.
Let's see. Probably the most eye-rolling thing is kind of like I touched on earlier, are just the braggarts, I guess, the whale chasers. I mean, yes, they're great beers, they're delicious beers, but we have so many good beers right here too. Like, I'm not gonna like send my poor grandma out at 8 o'clock in the morning to go stand in line and like wheel some beer for me, you know, just so I can get it. Like, you know, my parents live in Colorado. I don't send my retired dad out to everywhere across the state, even though he has all the time in the world to do it. You know, I don't have him tracking down that stuff. If I come across it and I get it, that's fine, that's great. I try and share that if I do, but yeah, the people who just pretend that, you know, that beer, the forbidden beer is the best beer. The harder it is, the better it tastes. And I've had some, and no, man, it don't.
Which on that, I gotta tell, I was lucky enough to listen to Terry Farrandruff, who's the founder of Pink Boot Society, talk at a session down in UK, Lexington. It was so funny because out of nowhere she goes, I can tell you what the #1 beer on Rate Beer and Beer Advocate is right now. She goes, it's high ABV, it's high IBU, and it's impossible to get. I'm like, yeah, that is it. Whereas again, I came out of radio for years and years and years, and I always tend to treat beer like that old Stephen Stills song. If you can't be with the one you love, love the one you love.
Yeah. It's the only other thing that makes me roll my eyes. This is new because I've only been a brewer for a year. But whenever I show up to beer events and I'll introduce myself and ask me what I do, hey, I'm a brewer. Hi. And they're like, oh my god, you don't look like a brewer.
Oh.
I don't have beer. I knit. So I've been saying like either I have fake beer out or like make a little beer honey thing.
IKEA, they had little fake beards and they gave them to me. It was my Halloween costume this year. Yes. It's awesome. But there was no mustache, so it was an Amish fur. Ellen, before we move on?
I don't really have any.
Yay! That's absolutely awesome!
I guess the most eye-roll thing would be all the puns that happen at the brewery, but yeah, that's all I got.
Well, this is related closely, but we'll see, because I love this particular one. What is the funniest thing that someone tried to mansplain to you? When Jenny has to take a drink of beer first, you know it's going to be good.
It's an IPA, and I know that, it's bitter. Thanks.
Moreline did a brew for Cincinnati Shakespeare Company that they had at the bar in their new theater, and it doesn't say anywhere on the label what it is. And so when I asked, what is this beer? the bartender had to walk away and ask someone, and she came back and she said, "It's an ale." I didn't order that. Also, someone once told me that I should have a case stack of cases of Bud Light right at our front door. And I said, that's just really not our customer. He said, well, you should make it your customer.
Yes, please. Passion fruit.
So this is beer-ish brewery related, more brewery related. So I was an architect for a while, and we were doing all of these lovely expansions of Rhinegeist, you know, the ever-present construction. And this actually happened twice. Someone brought in drawings for a concrete project, and they were measuring out some really weird stuff. And the measurements weren't quite lining up with the drawings that were sitting right there. And I kept trying to explain to them that it was to scale. So not at 100%, not 1-to-1, but it was at percentage scale. And lo and behold, they basically rolled their eyes at me and told me that, you know, basically take myself on, and lo and behold, they built the pad too small. And then, the constant getting explained, like, what beer is, or what beer I should be drinking, all the time. The IPA, all the time. You know that thing that's going to be better? But it's a good beer.
I think we have a question.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to send it to you via messenger.
Oh, sorry, my phone is on silent, so there we go.
We have a question. What does each member of the panel find to be their biggest challenge as women working in their particular area of the industry?
Oh, okay, so we'll stop real quick on this, then we'll come back to it because these are too good not to come back to. Though actually, I have a story about a woman trying to explain to you. There you go. So what is your biggest challenge? Let's start with Ellen. Okay, we'll start with Jenny then.
Biggest challenge, honestly, is trying to, I guess, you know, end the fun day, end the party. When tour's ending, and it's like, all right, guys, we gotta go. Come on, we have to get back to the bus. We have a certain time, and they're just like, no, one more round. And I remember my first time having to get 25 people out of Rhinegeist at a Sabertooth release, and I did lose one. And that's when I knew I could do this. Every single one of those people made it out with me, and we made it out maybe 5 minutes late, but still relatively on time. So yeah, that's my challenge, is just trying to get people to move on. Like, I know there's more beer, or you know, there's more beer, but not just with me. Like, you have to go somewhere else. We do jokingly and lovingly refer to it as herding cats, because sometimes it is when they get their beer and they split off in 18 different directions. And again, you're in charge of every single one of those, and you have to make sure you have your count. So yeah, that's a challenge, but it's fun, and I'm up for that challenge.
For brewing, we haul stuff around all day. And the way Rhinegeist is built, you're literally walking or jogging miles every day and running up a lot of stairs. The first time I tried to mill in by myself last year, I puked. Like, it's 55 pounds at the time. I just wasn't used to lifting that amount of weight all the time. And I had to mill in 2,600 pounds by myself. Did my reps that day. But it's been a slow process, and learning that you can legit take your time. Now I can haul 100 pounds at a time up and down the stairs, which is pretty stinking awesome. I can't quite keep up with everybody.
Now I feel like my answer is going to expose me as the giant wimp that I am. But putting a half barrel in the cooler is
Yes, that's
I can do the 6 stalls and the quarter barrels, the half barrel is beyond me. That and because I stock shells all the time, the 6-packs that come in cardboard boxes that don't have finger holes. Because I cannot palm a basketball, I can't palm a cube or a rectangle of beer. I need the finger holes.
Second the half barrel. Very difficult. I guess being in the lab, I'm lucky enough to be in an area that there are a lot of women in this industry, and pretty much the only challenge is set by yourself. So, I mean, as long as you're willing to learn and teach yourself and research, the limit is whatever you create. So,
I think my biggest challenge is the Brewing Science Department is part of the Midwest Culinary Institute, so it's me and a lot of chefs mainly. I see Ryan in the background, and he chefs. And so I'm constantly, I originally started down in humanities and sciences, then I got moved up, and my dean down in humanities and sciences knew that I am not a brewer. I'm not a home brewer. And so there was never any thought that I would be teaching brewing production or anything like that. That's just not what I do. So I'm constantly having to explain to people upstairs, you can tell it's the third floor of the building, that I am front of house, not back of house. Now I'm learning a lot of it, and part of it is also I've been spoiled because I've gotten to brew on professional systems. And I've also homebrewed on occasion. I'm like, professional systems with a hot liquor tank? Oh, this rocks so much better than homebrewing. So yeah, that's been one of my challenges. Where were we on mansplaining? Okay, I'll tell mine. And this is a woman mansplaining to me. Most Tuesday nights when I'm not here, we're at Hebrew Brew House. That's how we live. Hello, Pilar. Sorry, I have to do that. And a local brewery was having a pint night that night, and they had a woman rep there. And I just sat down, I looked through the list, and I ordered a Rhinegeist, I believe it was Centennial Dry Hopped Ale. And the woman next to me, who finally paid attention I was there, was like, "Hi, we have beers on. Do you like hoppy beers?" I'm like, "I just ordered a dry hopped beer. What do you think?" So that's my most recent mansplaining thing. All right, the next one. Tell us about somebody you admire in the industry. It can be male, female, dog, I don't care.
Well, I am a dog person, but I do love Horatio, the assistant brewer at Seventh Sun, the cat. Follow him on Instagram, he's adorable. But no, I mean, it kind of all goes back to New Belgium, like Kim Jordan. She was the first woman that I knew really that I heard of in the industry, and just her story is very inspiring. And yeah, she's a certified badass.
I feel super spoiled. I work with, there are a lot of gentlemen I really admire in the brewing industry. A lot of people I'm totally fangirl over. But legit, like I work with some powerhouse women at Rhinegeist, in sales, in marketing, in events, in production, in maintenance, in the lab, in merchandise. Like, we have some incredible women who are always learning new things and pushing the boundaries of what we can do and how exposed we are in the industry. And I admire the holy hell out of all of them.
Here's another cheesy one. I really admire Penny and Brady. They are amazing. They love their employees. They have taken MadTree from a little tap room on Kennedy to this massive brewery, and we have a lot of really strong women working at MadTree in a lot of big roles, and they have helped get us to where we are today. So yes, definitely one.
I'm gonna talk about someone who works in service, and I'm gonna talk about Natalie, the full-time server at Marty's Awesome Minds. I think some of you know her. She is someone who, first of all, can get your order in her head and not forget a single thing, even if you put like 5 things on and 4 pizzas and you have 2 flights, and I mean, she gets it all in her head, and I don't know how she does that. She does all of this with such grace and warmth and love, and I think that a lot of that is because she's a woman. That's just her nature to be very openly loving towards people. And she has a lot of challenges in her personal life, and she comes in every single day and is positive and doesn't let these challenges affect her work, doesn't let it bleed onto the rest of her coworkers. And she will talk to us and vent and get support from us, but she still then turns around and she greets every customer with a smile or a hug by name, knows what they like to drink. I think she's phenomenal. I read something on Facebook recently that was a tribute to someone who recently passed away, and they described this person as saying she expends every single bit of her energy being a blessing, and I think Natalie does that too.
Love Natalie.
So I have a man and a woman I'm going to say that I admire. The woman is Deb Carey, who is the owner of Natalie Brewing in Wisconsin. Claris is one of the top 10 breweries in the nation, even though they only distribute in Wisconsin. Well, I lived in Wisconsin for a brief part of my life, and yeah, beer is life in Wisconsin. But what's great about her is when her husband was a brewer that was kind of a journeyman brewery and was going from brewery to brewery to brewery, and she got tired of that, and she said, I'm going to build my own brewery and hire you as my brewer. And she did. And that's how we have the Claris. And if you've ever seen like a spotted cow label, and any of those wonderful labels on the Claris, that's all Deb's work. She's an amazing graphic artist. The other one I'm going to say who I really admire is someone you've never heard of before, John Downey. And my husband's laughing because he knows John Downey. John Downey is the brewmaster at Niagara College in Ontario. He is the one that set up their brewmaster training program, and their program is what we base Cincinnati State on. They have a very similar situation that they're part of a culinary program. And in fact, they've been teaching winemaking there since 1989. He's been so kind. When I went there, they have their own hop yard, which we're getting there in Cincinnati State. We actually have hops growing now in our greenhouse. But he's been so kind as far as helping, whereas some other schools were like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. But he's always helped out and always helped things come along, and part of the Cincinnati State program owes its credit to John Downey. So, all right, next question. Do you have any ideas for making craft beer or bitter beer or independent beer or whatever you want to call it more inclusive? And that's not for women, that's for everyone.
Conversations like this.
Maybe from the outside looking in, this can, and I was definitely there a couple years ago, this is a really intimidating group of people, right? You get like people who are infinitely cooler than I am who are doing this, and but it's really, I think, opening up the conversation, inviting people to have a beer with you, just trying new things, because there's so many people who get, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, like, they are strictly, a light beer drinker. I'm like, you know what? There's alternatives that are close enough within the beer, like craft beer community, and you can try something, right? And your palate isn't always going to stay the same. Keep trying new things, and if you don't like it the first time, try it again sometime later. And those are, like, in addition to conversations, just inviting people in to try new stuff. I think that will bring more people in by the droves.
I would say along those lines, drop any preconceived notion you might have too about what somebody might like to drink, and whether they are a beer drinker or not. We've got customers who the man orders the wine and women orders the beer, which is kind of opposite of what most people would expect a couple to be drinking in a restaurant. And then she gets really big IPAs and really stouts, and she's also African American, and so I just love to think of this couple he with his glass of wine and her with her beer. Because I know if the server if I just gave it to someone and said, wine out to this table, they would probably put it in front of the wrong person. You need to stop that and just realize that people can drink whatever they want, whenever they want. Just ask. There's that too. Right. And like you said, don't be afraid to share things and to suggest that they try something. When I get someone who walks in and they sit down and they just say, I'll take a Bud Light, I think, okay, we have that. But I'm not giving you a taste of this Pilsner we have on tap. And let's just see if you like that too. Or, oh, I don't drink beer, I only drink wine. Well, okay, let me give you this sour while we stay on.
Belgian beers are, Belgian beers are this great, wonderful, just cornucopia of awesome, right? So anybody who says that they don't like beer or I'm not a beer person, I always direct them towards any Belgian section. I just give them a shot. There's something in there for them.
And I just want to add another thing. Getting back to things we roll our eyes at, all the posturing and one-upmanship and searching for whales and chugging beers and my IPA is bigger than yours. That's intimidating to people. And it's also kind of drama. So maybe just taste the beer, drink the beer, share the beer, talk about the beer, and it's not fun.
They don't assume. There for a while, I got really sick of everybody saying, hey, you should drink this fruit beer.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Thank you very much. But yeah, and just people like what they like. But definitely, I think, definitely places that serve beer can tell people, here, try this. It's okay. I always try, in fact, I always tell my students, is like, if you go someplace that has beer on draft and they won't give you a taste, leave. Because if they're that tight on their money, they're not cleaning their lines, they're not doing a lot of other things. So you should be able to get a taste of beers that are on draft and see what you really like. I'm not saying you'll love them all, but at least try new things. And that's, it's like, if you try everything that's out there and you still come back to Bud Light, I'm going to respect you much more and say, no, this is the only thing I've ever had until I'm going to drink. You need to try new things, and that's what's out there. Okay, so what advice do you have for people trying to get in the industry? Oh, we got a question. Sorry about that. Question.
So, to follow up, Jane, you were touching on a topic that I think a lot of us have seen on the Greater Cincinnati Craft Beer. Here, have a bite. Thank you. Jane, you were touching on a topic that I think a lot of us women have seen on the Greater Cincinnati Craft Beer Society Facebook group about the intimidation factor, and I've been wondering if any of you have a good rote response or pre-programmed response to the beer bros?
Let me please. See, here's the thing. This is one thing. I'm 55, almost 56 on Monday. I don't give a crap anymore. It's one of those things. It's like I've had utopias served to me by Jim Cook. Have you? There's plenty of different things that I can say like that usually shut people up. And I'm like, in fact, there's a video out there, don't go looking for it because I don't want this guy to get any more hits. But some idiot decided to beer bomb a utopia. I'm like, were there paramedics on staff? Because that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I was in that group you just mentioned, which I'm not even going to name because somebody added me in. I left them for 2 weeks. I couldn't take it.
We're better now.
It is better now.
Yeah, you'll have to do that to me. But it's one of those things, it's like, yeah, no. If you go back, and I'll share this with Jesse and Tom and share later on, there's a breakdown of the type of beer drinkers that are out there. And you've got the localist, you've got the whale hunter, you've got the home brewer, and you've got the raider. But the one that's not missing there is the average beer drinker. And you always need to keep that in mind. So it's kind of like what I said before about if somebody has actually tried other beers and they still keep coming back to Bud Light, you can't really discount them. They have tried, and this is still what they love. So there you go. Others?
So Rhinegeist has this really, really, really awesome education program led by Chris Shields in the back.
Yo, Chris!
Every single person who works at Rhinegeist is at least a certified beer server from Cincinnati.
Oh, you did great.
A couple of us are certified Cincinnati. Thanks to Cincy. But I love, like, when people try to talk down to me about beer or try to talk over my head about beer, I now know enough to where I can carry that conversation and maybe, I don't know, turn it from, you know, you're trying to prove me wrong or make me look stupid to like, okay, let's have a talk. Let's legit have a conversation. This is my opinion.
So sadly, it's just, I mean, there's so many beer groups on Facebook that are a dime a dozen like that one. I mean, it's kind of gross, honestly. Some, yes, have gotten better. But that's the thing, you know, like we were talking about, start a conversation, be more welcoming, but it is. I mean, pardon my French, but it's a bunch of dick swinging. And I'm over it, and I don't, and that's the thing, like, you try and have a conversation with these people, and they will literally, I mean, they start getting real nasty. I'm like, oh my god, y'all, this is beer. You should be 21 and up to drink it, but you're all acting like a bunch of middle schoolers at the lunch table. And I can't, so I would be the trolls.
So she calls it dick swinging, and I call it dick measuring. But anyway.
So you said, do we have a standard response? The one that I'm so close to starting is just carrying tape measure. This is ridiculous.
I think Ellen's done. We have another question.
Roxanne, can I hear you answer this? Yeah. This is going to be a good answer.
Okay, let me introduce. This is Roxanne Westendorf, who is a master homerower. She is a member of the board of the American Home Brewers Association and the Brewers Association.
And just so you guys know, on the Brewers Association board that will convene in February, there are 5 out of 19 women on the BA board of directors. So, yay. So this is about the troll group.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody asked on the troll group, which that's what I'll call it for now. I mean, it has improved. It has improved because certain people took it over. But they asked us, so why have the women stopped posting? So I put down an honest answer. It's like, because you guys, I mean, basically it was a nice way of saying you guys are dicks. And I don't really appreciate seeing chug videos. If you want to chug, that's your thing, but don't videotape it, put it here. Right. And I got trolled. Badly. Horribly. And I'm going to give Tom credit and I'm going to give Danny Spears credit because within like 5 seconds they both jumped to my defense. But that's the type of thing that was like somebody asked the question. When they got the answer, they decided, well, it couldn't be my fault, so they went and trolled people. So they trolled me worse. And so I really haven't really posted in there since. I'm actually still in it, and I occasionally look at it for things like this. But really, some of the stuff in there is crazy, and you have to look at that. So anyway, beer is good. Honestly, I think that Cincinnati beer scene, as far as the people who are in the business here, we're in a good place.
Thank you. Which reminds me, Cincinnati State Brewing Bar, we have t-shirts that will be available at Cincy Beer Fest and say, beer people are good people. It's one of those things, I just had a meeting the other day with some of my adjunct instructors, and we all agreed that the asshole ratio in the beer industry is very low. So, yeah, we're very happy with that. Ellen, I have a question for you. I know. It is, how do you feel about some of the brewery equipment has, you know...
What?
You got about her.
I know, but you sent me that one, so I'm trying to, yeah. You have to remember, I used to do a talk show, I was the producer, anyway. All right, what's your question? Here you go.
I can wait.
No.
Okay, so I work in data analytics and data science, which might compete with beer in male-dominated area. So what do you do as women to support other women looking for jobs in this area, or just in general supporting them liking beer?
See, that was a perfect segue to my next question. So what advice would you give to somebody trying to get into the brewing industry? We all start with Jenny.
Just be yourself, but also be confident. Do no harm, but take no shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you do have to stand up for yourself, especially when you're in a dominated industry and you are the minority. But yeah, I mean, and find those people who are supportive. Because not everybody's a troll. There are people who want to see you do well. So, good people are kind people, and you will be able to find those. So utilize those people. I'm so lucky that I just so happened to run into Carla. Like, I owe so much of this to her. Why? Because I met her through a good person, and she's a good person, so here I am sitting up here right now. So yeah, just look for networks to where you can really have somebody, like, we have Pink Boots. I don't know if data people have something like that, if there's like an all women data thing. But look for something that, find a mentor, find a friend, and find that support network.
Yeah, I was simply wondering how you support other women.
We do. Pink Boots, and just, doing stuff like this, having conversations like that, going out and having a pint. Then Cincinnati also has Girls Pint Out. I don't know if you guys, GPO is a fantastic organization. A bunch of women, we just get together and we drink beer and we shoot the breeze, and it's a fantastic time. So there's a Facebook group if you're not aware of it. Check out the events. Yes, dudes are also welcome, but for the main part, it's for women to get together and have beer, and we're not going to judge you if you do like that fruity beer. That's cool, man. You want to drink what you want to drink, and we will totally support that. We just want you to come out, have fun, and have a beer, and have some sisterhood.
I guess definitely ways to support women in the industry. If you know a woman who works in this industry, and they're hosting an event where they're going out and going for a certification, or they're giving a speech, you show up. Always. I have a lot of my girlfriends are sales reps in this industry, or they do events. And I just make sure I make time to show up for those events. I try to make time to show up for all of the events, but I definitely want to make sure that I show up for the female-led events, because those are under so much scrutiny all the time. Advice that I have for women looking to get into the industry, specific advice for women looking to get into the industry: be prepared to work 3 times as hard and get half the credit. Unfortunately, that is still a reality. I'm really lucky to work for a company that isn't like that, but it is unfortunately a norm. You will have to put in so much extra work, and you have to prove yourself over and over and over again, but you don't give up, ever.
I would add to that, I'm working very hard. Don't be afraid to start at the bottom. I started as a one-night-a-week server, and now I work many more hours than that. But I love it, and I've met so many fantastic people, including women who do support me in my role, and when I have all these things that I roll my eyes about, or when the troll group breaks loose and women are being attacked, I know somebody is going to come to their defense, be it man or woman. I know that they're supported, and it helps to make those networks, make those relationships. Advice for people getting into the industry, I would say be passionate, be willing to learn. I bet
that 90% of the people in the brewing industry have zero background in what they're working in. So actually doing the work, doing the research, and if you're actually interviewing with a brewery, make sure you know their beers. If we ask you what's your favorite MadTree beer, don't sit in a blank face and look up at the tap board to try to read something.
Oh man, I would smack one of my students if they did that. Yeah, that's very important. It sounds like we'll get one more question and then we'll get one more question after that and probably wrap it up because I think the natives are getting restless. So next question.
Hi ladies. Question is, the Cincinnati craft beer community is vast. Some people have said it's almost a mecca. But with you having such like a large following and so many people that are involved in it, how much of an impact do you think it's made on the community as a whole? Not just craft beer, but education, arts, industry, everything like that. Organizations, charity. How do you think craft beer in Cincinnati has affected the community as a whole?
I'll start this one just because I know a lot. What's amazing to me is how much craft beer in Cincinnati is given back. It's incredible. We have like Rhinegeist who's done how many beers with Arch Fair. And so MadTree has also done a lot. Braxton does a lot. It's just incredible. And this is a good time for me to bring my plug. This is the one time it's ever happened. You can drink 3 of our class beers right now. You can go to Braxton and get Kentucky Waltz, which is a Kentucky common with blackberries and bourbon soaked oak chips that was designed by my summer Brew 100 class. You can go to 50 West and get Over the River, which is a Mexican hot chocolate stout with orange peel, which is also available at other spots. They're distributing it and may actually brew it again. Or you can get Rhinegeist Grandma, which is the very first class beer we ever did, which Ryan Osner in the back helped brew, and this latest batch was brewed by his wife, Natalie. So 3 different class beers that are available for my students, which is just amazing. But the one thing I want to throw in this, yes, the brewing industry is helping so much. I've almost done this post so many times for operatives, and I'll just say this here now. Don't reach out to every single brewery thinking they're making tons of money and they're going to be your sugar daddy. Almost every brewery in town has a policy on how they donate. And also, you cannot donate free beer in Ohio. Okay, that's the first one. And even in Kentucky and Indiana, there's certain rules that go along with that. So be kind, be friendly, make sure this is something, the area they want to support is something they've supported in the past. But just don't assume. I've had people come up and it's like, well, such and such brewery's got to be making a lot of money, so they can give us X, Y, Z. And I'm like, you're an idiot. So keep that in mind that yes, the brewing community has given back so much, and so many of us are so thankful. But be realistic when you talk about that. Anybody else?
Just on a smaller scale, I can't talk to you what they've given back to all of Cincinnati, but I know here in College Hill, Marty's Hops and Vines brought people as a community over craft beer there and now here. It's a community table. We brought so many familiar faces, both from this neighborhood and out, and I think it's forging those communities in small ways too is quite a bonus.
So the Brew Minds every fall does a huge raffle basket drive for cancer-free kids. And then, of course, we'll always donate, Mike's so generous and he'll donate tickets and shirts and baskets and stuff for various raffles across the cities. I know we've had a couple of Marty's for charities and stuff like that. And then Fib and Fibonacci, once a month, they have Fit Fund. So every month they choose a local charity, and 10% of their full sales goes to that charity. So yeah, I mean, pretty much every brewery gives something back, whether it's charitable suds or it's the Cage Charity of the Month. I mean, this community is not only so generous with each other and, you know, the camaraderie within it, but I mean, it really is not only building up the brewing community, but it's building up the greater Cincinnati community and everybody involved and everybody who lives in the area. So, yeah, beer people are good people.
I have volunteered at so many events that have been just overrun with all of these people who work at breweries or work in beer shops who are showing up to, you know, help carry the load and help do their part and help give back to the community that has given us so much. I mean, all of the breweries in Cincinnati, and there are, what, 42 now, and a couple more on the way. Yeah, 47. But, you know, all of us, we wouldn't be anywhere without, you know, all of you lovely weirdos keeping us employed, right? And it's great to know that they're, I mean, like you said, your people are good people, and all of the people I know take extra time outside of their work and outside of all of their other obligations to give back every chance they get.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, I understand you have a question.
I have a question about advertising. And this is an issue that comes up perennially in the beer groups and just kind of in the industry, is the use of, I'll just say, sexually explicit or images that objectify women on beer labels and so on. And usually the argument breaks down into, well, we're just having fun, can we just take a joke, versus like, we need to be a little bit better about here, we need to not objectify. What do you think the industry can do to change this sort of thought process? Or where is the line and what should beer drinkers feel about this? Because I've also seen, I'd say at least 20 to 30% of women who are like, oh, it's just a joke. So what can we do better in this situation?
Thank you. Talk to people. It's a great question. There's a 12-year-old boy who lives in my head, so a lot of the innuendo, punny stuff, I think is really hilarious. But I mean, think about it like this. If you're thinking about, you know, putting something on a can or a bottle, or you're advertising and like toe the line, talk to someone around you. Like, you're not in a vacuum. Talk to people. And when you talk to the women in question, listen, right? Don't just say lip service, listen, because these women are going to give you a legit answer. They're going to give you a